What about you? Any tips?
I'm straight. I don't get tips.
Oh my god. What about you?
He gets all the tips.
He does. Brother!
He gets more than the tip.
He gets the whole pipe.
So, my name is Amish, age 18. I recently just completed my A levels. For those who don't know, IGCSE is a 3-year degree that leads up to AS level, which is a 1-year degree, which takes us up to A levels, which is also a 1-year degree. The toughest of the tough. I have created multiple videos of me reacting to results, my IGCSE, my AS level results online. And to be honest, now that I'm awaiting my A level results, it's still very nerve-wracking. I do not know if I'll make that video or if that'll happen, but let's pray that happens. Moving off of that, in this video I will go into depths of things which some people may or may not be able to relate to, and I may go into specifics of some things that happened to me during my A-level journey. Part 1, the plan out. AS level started off pretty rough for me. I was in a different country. On the day of my flight, I got COVID, so I had to rebook the ticket 10 days later. I finally tested negative for COVID and was able to travel and come back to the country where the school is. When I did go to school that day, I was bombarded with projectile motion and information about complex A-level physics, at least at the time. I feel like physics was the most draining and like the toughest A-level I took. I did not find biology and chemistry particularly hard, but I feel like in a way physics made up for that. Then came A-levels. My plan with A-levels was to basically go into A-levels and then impress the teachers and then stand my ground. That happened, but I'm not sure about standing my ground because that definitely was a bumpy ride, I'm telling you. I was never expecting A-levels to be like it was, because it was just weird. I thought it would just be like AS level, but it was a lot more than that, both on a personal level and academically. In A-levels, one meets different people, polar opposite personalities, and I feel like that was kind of my floating device. Also fighting in the class by writing the other one's name on the board.
I would never say something like that.
Trying to figure out someone and their next move in the game of survival of the fittest. Coming across pygmies, you name it, our schools got it. Some pretended to love a teacher who they very publicly showed disgust for when the teacher wasn't present, to some asking the teacher how much they scored component wise if they scored a full 300 out of 300 in chemistry specifically. And I feel like A-levels is really just about how much you can maintain what you have built yourself in the past few years. I feel like if you do not know anything from the previous years, then you will probably are not set to do A-levels. Quick.
It's like
Memories.
full stop.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so basically it's like 2:10, and we're not supposed to leave until like 10 minutes later.
Yeah.
But we are rule breakers. We do not follow the rules. The rules follow us.
Part 2, an empire of knowledge. I've worked hard to build an empire of all that I know, and I refuse to let anyone break it down. With all A's in my AS level came the price of awards day. A day I would love to remember if it weren't for my hair. But memories are made for them to turn into dust, so they faded into the background. Ahead of me stood mocks and classes every week. A part of me was overconfident due to the teachers setting very concrete boundaries between students who scored more and less. But I knew it back then that using that information in any way whatsoever would only work against me. I feel like I thought I knew what I was doing, and I thought I was aware of my surroundings. Scoring all A's really puts you up there in the spotlight, and it really just blurs the line between confidence and overconfidence further and makes it harder to differentiate them. video.
No, I'm saying something is wrong. Amish,
Yes.
3 pieces are lifting up. 3 pieces.
Thank you.
There's 1 piece here. They're not. There are the
Fix
pieces.
it. Come fix it.
Good.
And back then I knew that I needed to know how to differentiate them, because being overconfident is like digging your own grave. Thought I knew what I was doing, but apparently not so. I needed someone to tell me, someone in third person, and that's where my physics teacher stepped in. She said, quote, Amish, everyone around you is studying and they are trying to distract you. When she said that, I was shocked, because I thought till that moment that I was aware of my surroundings, I was studying during the classes, I was talking after the classes and not during. But apparently I was talking during the classes and not after the classes, which was really an eye-opener, and really I feel like I'd never felt so ashamed in my life before. It was an awakening moment for me. I feel like I thank that teacher for saying that, because I feel like if she didn't, I would have only figured that out later in the year, which would have been of no benefit to me. At times I felt like I was the loudest in the class, and I am definitely not the loudest. Like the first day of A levels, I remember the teacher asked us if like we wanted to opt for president or some president thing. I have no idea. I was never going to do that. I was never gonna go stand up there in front of everyone and be like, okay, I want to do it. Because like the thing is, one thing I know for sure is that I don't have that many connections in the school, because I do not talk to many people outside my friend circle. So, and in that class, everyone was like new to me. I did not know anyone. So of course I lost. But like I'm so happy I actually went up there and stood there. So yeah, it's kind of, because like the first day itself you get embarrassed. It's like there's no going below this, right? You cannot be more embarrassed than that. So I feel like that was really nice. I would love to do that again, like get embarrassed first day, first lesson of A levels. But yeah, that really set me up for answering in classes. I was answering in classes. I did not keep my academic answers to myself. I also got a 10-minute standing ovation from my biology teacher. Not speak, oh my god. A 10-minute standing ovation from my biology teacher. Okay. But yeah, it was never a calm road, because like part 3, the breaking point. For all good that comes, it brings with it the polar opposite. And for the very first time, I had a breakdown, educational wise at least. And I mean, I was expecting a breakdown, but I was not expecting it to be during the very first few weeks of A-levels itself. I feel like the factors that contributed to this breakdown was, number one, during our physics classes, during the very first few weeks, everyone was answering the question in like, the teacher stated something and then everyone understood it in like a millisecond, and then they were like, okay, move on teacher, and then she used to move on to the next line, and I was still unaware of what was happening in the first line itself, that I just could not keep up with the students. It was sad, and yeah, it was dumb. Plus I feel like the second factor and the last factor I believe was that I was doing 2 things at once, which was, I mean everyone was, but no one mentioned it back then. That the thing is, first you have to deal with A-levels, which is very tough, but on top of that you have universities to think for. And the thing is, I was dumb, I did not research about universities during the summer, so I researched and started doing my all of the research for universities during September itself, and I had to get used to university terms and read documents and everything. It was like the dumbest thing, and I just felt too much. So yeah, then comes in the, by the way, I'm reading from a lovely iPad. Do not, okay. So then comes in the imposter syndrome, which is basically, one sec, the persistent inability to believe that one's success is deserved or has been legitimately, how do you say that word, achieved as a result of one's own efforts or skills. I feel like everyone around me went through that, especially the girl who used to sit behind me during physics. She knows who she is. I feel like the only reason I'm saying this, like she never really told me, but I feel like I know, because like we have a lot of things in common. Both of us got 3 A's, so I'm just assuming that maybe she went through it too. It just, oh my god, how do you explain this? It just feels like people are expecting like you can never fail. I have no idea what I'm saying. Part 4, standing your ground. And then you bounce back. You realize that everything that you went through wasn't that tough after all. And all of that was just temporary. You start to build yourself up again. You start to study, start to catch up, and achieve the grades you want. You create all of these memories on the way. Some fun, some bad. You create friends, some good, some bad, of course. But eventually exams do come around and you have to be tested for what you've learned. And so the exams came and it was, I don't think I would state it as fun, because exams were definitely not fun this time around. Last year was still fun, this year no, I don't think so. It was just too much things and too many things you had to memorize together. Yeah, but the moments after the exams when you used to go to your friends and ask how their exam went.
How was the paper?
Amazing. I had so much time for
Yeah,
that.
I finished like 5 times. Fireworks.
Anyways, last day.
I'm so happy.
Same.
Yeah. What was it
Check
like
your
for you?
Instagram.
Yeah, I will download it today. Like legit when I go home.
Literally do it. Anyways,
Did you get FI Chloe as a functional group?
I think so, yes.
Hi guys. Guys. Where's here?
Hiya.
Come. How was the exam?
It was good, really good. It was the easiest paper I did. Why were all
Exactly.
papers hard?
Unit 5 was shit.
This was only
You wanna be in the
percentage.
vlog? How was the exam?
It was good.
It was nice. How much do you think you'll get?
How do you feel about the last day?
I'm
never
so
coming
happy.
back.
Yeah, it's kind of
Same.
sad.
Now, y'all, let me vlog this. Hey everyone, this is me after.
The other way.
Anyways, let's go. So this is us after the board exam. It was shit.
Oh my god.
It was good.
It's so awkward. It's so awkward, like filming with everyone watching.
It's fine.
Then just
It's the vlog. It is the vlogger life. Amish, what do you have
Let
to
me
say?
explain. So what happened was in this paper, okay, I was fully, like, I was actually confident, okay, but then I opened it, I was like, why the fuck are there 2 coils? Like, someone said like there's gonna be.
I got the gradient wrong, but I got everything else correct.
Someone said that there was gonna be electric field. Someone jinxed this paper. I'm looking at him.
Not me, it was
Someone
the other
said
guy, Jeremy.
Someone jinxed this paper, and I
How
want
was
to
your
kill him.
paper?
It was good.
What about you?
It was ugly. Disgusting.
How much do you think you'll get?
Probably like more than half. That's for sure.
I see, not me. I'm gonna get 9.
Hi, this is me,
Not
the
like
main
this, the other
character.
way.
Please.
I'll
He's
record
a
you over
side
there.
character. I'm like the
No, but
protagonist.
we are.
Thank you.
We are.
After then,
We're waiting for the other.
Amish, I just when
How was the exam for you?
Good vlog.
How much do you think you'll get?
Ended on a high note, I think.
What was your yield?
53?
Yeah, say high five.
I don't know. Guys, I failed my mock 2 chemistry papers, like all
Same, I
3
got
of them.
26 out of 50.
No, that's not bad. That's not nothing. That's nothing. I got a 23 out of 90.
It's fine.
I didn't study, to be fair. Yeah, I'll come. Alright. Bye.
But yeah, I feel like A-level will test you in many ways. It will test you both. I've said it before, academically and mentally. It will test you, your friendship. It will test how you are able to adapt to new environments and new people. Basically, yeah, that. And exams, of course, because you better score them A stars. And if you don't, then that's okay. You can try again. But yeah, that's it. And see you. I do not know when, but yeah, bye bye. I love you. What the f?
Me eating 10 more times, ugh. You can't take that bitch nowhere, ugh. I look better with no hair, ugh. Ain't no sign I can't smoke hair, ugh. Yeah, give me the chance and I'll go there, bitch.